Hi, my name is Jane Powell. Welcome to Community Connections, brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. Boy, I got a great show for you today. You're going to learn about the Healing House. My guest is Nakia Austin. She is co-founder and CEO. Nakia, thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm anxious to learn about the Healing House. I think you do so much for the community. I want you to tell us everything. But first, explain the Healing House.
I've been saying recently that the Healing House is Charleston's best kept secret, but we do not want to be the best kept secret anymore.
Spread the word.
So we're here to spread the word. The Healing House is a holistic licensed behavioral health center, and our focus is very simple. We want to help women and families heal and rebuild. I mean, it just doesn't get any more simple than that.
Right.
I think that a lot of times when bad things happen, we focus on particular things. So maybe we focus on mental health, or we focus on getting someone back into workforce, or into a home, but we don't take the time always to connect those pieces and realize that usually when bad things happen, they affect every area of a person. So I got this bright idea that there should be a place where at that time women could come and they can get everything they need in one spot. So they could get their therapy, they could learn workforce readiness skills and get back into workforce. They could get help with housing, life skills, just all the things they need, but put it in one place so that on the worst day of your life, you don't have to go here, there, and everywhere to get help. So that's really kind of where it started. I experienced a personal tragedy, and after the dust settled, I was expected to rebuild my life, but nobody told me how. And so I think it's important that we buy into the narrative that healing is taught, right? It's not osmosis. You aren't just going to absorb it. And many of us come from backgrounds in which we didn't have a lot of people who had healthy, healed relationships and mindsets. And so they didn't teach us those things. And so it's important for me to start teaching the narrative that healing is possible and it's for you. And so that's where the Healing House started. And we've been on a wild ride, founded in a pandemic. Bought a house to do services that needed healing. So it took us about a year to renovate that, but we've been actively providing services, both group and individual, since 2022. And I'm happy to say to date, we have made over 700 impressions in the Kanawha Valley and surrounding areas. So I'm super excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you mentioned your house, where the services are offered. That's on the west side of Charleston.
Yes.
Which is a community that I am sure needs your services. We all need your services. I don't want to pinpoint a community, but I think you're in the right place.
We love the West Side. When I moved to Charleston, the ministry that I was a part of at that time had a little church on the hill, and it was on the West Side. And I wasn't thrilled about moving to Charleston initially, but the West Side won my heart. And I since then have just had a strong affinity to the West Side. I love it. I love the people. I love the community. And I love the opportunity to be able to serve that community. Fun fact though, because we have moved into telehealth services and expanded so much, we're currently serving 47% of the state.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's kind of surreal for us still. It was like I blinked and we just blew up overnight.
But that means your services we needed.
I think that we are definitely in need of more mental health and behavioral health services. And so I just am excited about the opportunity to step in and lend a hand. I think, we have so many wonderful agencies in the Valley and in the state, but because we are actively in a mental health crisis, everybody is just so bogged down. We have so many people that we have to serve that it's impossible for any one agency to meet the need in its entirety, right? So what we're trying to do is really get out into the communities. This past year, we traveled the state, going to different counties and introducing ourselves and really letting people know that there is help available. A long-term goal would be able for us to have sites in different counties, especially the more rural counties. I know that there is a shortage of mental health services there, and so we are working diligently to not just be able to provide telehealth services, but to have remote locations where we can provide services in those communities to those individuals.
Oh, I love that because I know it's needed.
It's definitely needed.
Yeah. So you mentioned something earlier that it started, Healing House started serving women.
Yes.
But you have expanded now.
We have expanded.
Because a woman is rarely by herself. She has a family. And there are people around her that need. So tell me a little bit about that.
So when we first started, I really wanted to help women because, again, it was something that was personal to me,
Right.
that I had gone through, and I felt like it was important to create that space. And my mindset at the time, which it hasn't shifted too much, but my mindset at the time was, if you can, if you can heal a woman, you can heal the world, right? Like, if you can really make a difference in the life of a woman, it will be a ripple effect that would be insane, because there's so many people connected to a woman, thinking about our careers and our families and just all the things. And so my mindset was, if I can empower this woman, it will shake the earth. Like, it will literally affect everybody. And we did do that. We helped hundreds of women, and they did take those skills back to their families, and they did share things. And over time, I realized that it became a little bit more challenging to send people back to environments that didn't have the same narratives that she now holds, and the same values and the same beliefs and the same skills.
Right.
And so that's when I realized we've got to do some deeper digging, because you can't just take one person from a nucleus and expect that there's going to be this radical change. Now, was change happening? Yes. But I felt like if we were able to get into the family, if we were able to work with the kids, if we were able to work with the husbands and the partners, then we could make a much faster impact. And so we've recently expanded our services to include women and families. So we're now seeing women, men, children, adolescents. We actually do couples and marriage therapy, as well as family therapy.
Wow. Yes, you are the Healing House. So you're the president and CEO. Tell me about who helps you, about your staff.
The most amazing people in the world. They're just phenomenal.
Licensed therapists.
I do. I have licensed therapists, and I have one full-time intern who is getting ready to graduate, and we're very proud of her, and she will be coming on board full-time with us. So we're super excited about how the agency has grown. Going back to around April of 2024, we had a large shift in our staff. People got some opportunities that were better suited for their families, and we know that happens.
Right.
So that was definitely hard for us, and it left us with 3 staff members. And yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
a lot.
my gosh. And by the end of that year, we were up to 13 staff members. And so, everything aligned and just worked out beautifully. We increased our staff we more than tripled our staff, and it worked at a perfect time, because we also started seeing a spike in the demand for services. And so while we were receiving more calls and more emails and more inquiries for services, now I have more clinicians to serve these people. So it's been phenomenal. But I have the most amazing staff in the world. They're really an amazing group of women, and I am honored and privileged to work alongside of them. I get to do the interviews, and I'm in the materials that we hand out, but they are the heart of the Healing House, and they do all the work, and it would not exist without them. And so shout out to them. I love them. They're amazing.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad you're growing. So we talked about your services and how you've grown. So tell me about how someone pays for their services, because that's changed as you've grown.
Yes. We've definitely experienced a lot of shifts in how we operate our model. When we originally started, we were very, very small, and did not have a lot of options for sustainability as an organization, but it was important to me that everybody get services. So at that time, we had individuals paying a flat rate, and they would come, and it was like $35. It was nothing.
Right.
And like for $35, they could get therapy and case management and all the things. And it was brought to my attention through our accounting and the board, maybe we need to look at the model a little bit more, because if you keep doing this, you aren't going to be able to keep the doors open.
But that's part of growing, right?
Yeah, that was hard for me, because more than it's a business for me, it's a passion for me. It's a ministry for me. It's deeper for me. And so the thought of like healing not being accessible to people just crushed me. And I'm like, we've got to figure something out. And so we put our heads to the table and like, what can we do? And we were like, we got to get credentialed. We've got to get licensed. We've got to do what we got to do so that we can take some of the burden off of people by billing insurance, right? I was asking people to pay, and even though it was such a small fee, but I had to ask them because I could not bill their insurance. So many of them did have insurance, I just couldn't bill it. And so we worked really hard not only to become credentialed with insurance companies, but also to become a licensed behavioral health center. And so we really are proud of that accomplishment. Maybe for some bigger organizations, that was a piece of cake. For us, it was a lot, but we survived and we did it, and it opened up so many doors for us.
Good.
So we were able to start seeing more people and not having to put the burden on them, until recently, where we experienced a bit of a shift in our population, and we start serving more working class individuals with private insurance, and then we came back to the pain point of paying, because your insurance is going to require that you hold up your end of your contract with them, right?
Right.
Which is copays and deductibles. And while I get it, it's a business, but it impacts the people who are in those policies.
And what happens if you can't do the copay?
And
What happens if you've got groceries and
bills and all the things,
and
right?
it's winter, right?
It was terrible. And so we were like in a place where we're like, there's nothing that I can do to change your deductible. There's nothing I can do about your copay, because that was with an agreement between you and your insurance. But what I can do is create a system, and that's what we do. So we saw a need, and we again put our head back to the drawing board and said, what can we do? And so we came up with a therapy assistance program. And through that therapy assistance program, individuals who are experiencing financial hardship, who are struggling to pay copays, or who just have so much going on in their life that they just don't have the resources available to cover their therapy, or they're uninsured, we work with them to make therapy affordable. So we cover a portion of their costs to ensure that they don't have to stop services, or that they're able to start services.
I love that so much. Another thing that I know you do that just feels so natural but is so important, you have a way to get people clothes and any hygiene products that they might need.
Absolutely. So like I said, we're a holistic licensed behavioral health center, and that word was so important to me. A lot of people leave it off, but that makes the difference. We want to treat the whole woman, and we want to look at every area of her life. And while we primarily focus on therapy now, we still have the ability to connect you to supportive services, life skills, workforce readiness, all of those things, and basic needs. We have a blessing boutique, is what we call it, where women who are in need of clothing, whether it's just for everyday life or for work, they're able to go and shop, but it doesn't cost them anything. They go in, they're able to get the clothing that they want, and we have everything from undergarments to work outfits. We even have leisure wear, workout clothes, you name it, we've got it in the Blessing Boutique, and it's free and open to not only all those we serve, just anybody in need. So if you knew someone in need, or you happen to be in need, you can call us, let us know, and we'll make arrangements for you to go to the boutique and get what you need. We also have a hygiene pantry that's available, again, not just to the people that we serve, but to the community at large, where you are able to come in and you are able to get body wash, soap, shampoo, deodorant, all of those things.
Yeah, so important. Okay, so if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Call us. We are so old school.
All
Call
right.
us.
And that number is 681-205-8661.
Got it.
Yep, it's on the screen, and again, 681-205-8661. There's a website, thehealinghousinc.org.
You got it.
And there's information there, and I'm sure your staff is responsive to calls and information that's sent through the website. Tell me the address. If someone wanted to stop by the Blessings Boutique or pop in to schedule services, where do we find you?
So we are a safe location because we have a lot of people.
So we have to call and make an appointment.
But you can actually book a therapy session online for free. So if you go to our website, there's a button at the top that says book now, click it, and you can get set up with a therapy appointment right then, and it can happen as soon as the next day.
Oh, that's great. Nakia, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I've learned so much about the Healing House and the work you're doing for the community. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been Community Connections, brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. We'll see you next time.